guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a prom makeup tutorial and I definitely painted my face up the way that I would want to walk into prom 2016. I should point out something pretty obvious, that I did graduate a long time ago and makeup was so different back then. But I did also have you guys in mind. I tried to keep it as easy as possible while still looking very glamorous and bronzy and flawless faced. But yeah, I did use all drugstore products, pretty proud of that, -2. But I promise you, you have something at home that you can use instead to make it look the exact same way. And yeah, if you guys would like to see how I came up with this look and what products I used, keep on watching. I'm doing this a lot. Start the tutorial. Hello. Okay, so I'm starting with my nearly finished Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation, and I'm going to use the Beauty Blender to apply that all over the face. I usually apply this with a foundation brush, but I guess I felt like switching it up that day, and either the foundation's a bit too light or the sun has already made me a little bit more tan, so I'll definitely be warming my face up in a little bit here. Then to lightly set it, I'm using the NYX HD Translucent Finishing Powder and brushing that all over except for under the eyes, because after shadow, I know I'll have to come back and clean that area up. For my eyeshadow base, I'm using the Maybelline Bold Gold Color Tattoo and applying that to the lids with my finger, then switching to a brush to smooth it over. Now I'm taking my Covergirl Goldens palette, which I love. I literally use this thing all the time lately, and I'm starting with this light brown taupey shade and sweeping that all over the lid for a nice base to work with. Then I'm going to take some more of that shade with a blending brush instead now and start focusing this color to the outer edges of the lid. So starting at that outer V on this side, then switching to the inner tear duct on the opposite side and sweeping back and forth, leaving the center part of the lid alone. Then I used a blending brush to go over the crease and blend out the shadows to make sure they didn't go up too high. Now I knew this needed more intensity and there's no dark matte brown in the Goldens palette, so I decided to use the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette and mix these two browns together to darken up the areas we just applied shadow to. So same thing, you just want to start by applying a little bit of product so it's not too intense all at once, and you can totally use just one dark brown shadow to achieve the same look at home. I just tried to keep it all drugstore except for this little combo. And honestly, this is what I've been doing to my eyes lately to get this look, so I just wanted to be sure to share all the details with you. And now just keep slowly adding more product on until it's to your liking. And remember to blend every once in a while so you can keep the eyes looking clean. Now I'm going to use that same blending brush and take the lightest neutral shade in this palette and apply this color to the brow bone. Now for the fun part, I'm using my finger to pick up some of that gold, and I'm going to dab this onto the center part of the lid. This is the area we haven't been applying the other shadows to. And you just want to keep dabbing more shadow on and then using a blending brush to softly blend the two colors into each other, because you don't want to have heavy, harsh lines there. Now I decided to add a bit of liner to the lash line, and it started off as a thin line and became a little bit thicker throughout the tutorial, but I suggest that if you're wearing lashes that have a heavier, more visible band, you should probably make your line a little bit thicker so the lash band doesn't show. I then applied some mascara to the top lashes and then applied a pair of falsies. I'm using the Red Cherry, I want to say these are number 43. I'll have everything in the description box for you guys, but they're very similar to the Ardell Wispies, which you can pick up at any drugstore. And then I used a wipe to clean up under the eyes because some of the shadow did fall underneath. For concealer, I'm using my Maybelline Fit Me and applying that in a V shape to conceal and brighten under the eyes. And I also applied a little bit more to the face for more coverage, and then I used that damp sponge again to blend everything in. Now that I have my skin looking how I want it to, I'm using that translucent powder again to set everything. And brows, finally. It's quite ridiculous that I left them until just now to fill in. I rarely ever do that because I feel like filling them in earlier helps me see my face better. But to do this, I'm using the Almay brow pencil to fill in and define the shape. Now I just re-glued part of my lash because it was coming off on the end, so while the glue's drying, I'm going to apply bronzer, and I'm using the Rimmel Sunlight Bronzer. Oh, great break. I always forget to eat while filming, so I brought these in my room to snack on. Okay, bronzer time. I'm applying this to the cheeks and the hollows if you want a little contour, then up onto the hairline and the temples, and this is going to help warm up the face. And this is a really natural bronzer, but you can definitely build up the color if you want to do that too. Then for blush, I'm using the Milani Luminoso, which has a sheer peachy color to it and a built-in highlight as well. This is a super pretty blush that I always seem to forget about while I'm doing my makeup, but I'm just applying this to the apples and the tops of my cheeks. Then I'm going back to the shadow again, and I'm using the taupe shade and applying that to my lower lash line. This is just going to help finish off the eyes. Then I picked up the gold and dabbed that to the centers again, and this time just on the bottom. Now to finish up the eyes, I applied some mascara to the bottom lashes as well, and then I used my NYX Strobe of Genius palette and mixed these two shades together and applied it with a fan brush. This time I used a much better brush because I just did a first impression of this in my last video, and I kind of went ham with applying it in that video because I used a denser fan brush, not to mention tried out a bunch of the shades, so I was definitely strobed. For lips, I used a Circa lip pencil in Toffee to line and define, and I also used this color to fill them in as well. Then I tried out this gloss from NYX. It's the Intense Butter Gloss in Peanut Brittle, and I like the color, but I wanted a little bit more of like a nude, so I added the Rimmel Lasting Finish by Kate number 43 lipstick to just the centers of the lips, and this highlighted them a bit, but what really brought out the definition was using that lip liner again and darkening up the outer edges. And to set everything in place, I used the L'Oreal Infallible Makeup Extender Setting Spray, spritz that all over the face, give myself a quick fan, and then my look was complete. Let me know if you like the makeup by giving the video a thumbs up, and remember to share it with your friends. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.